Assalamu alaikum. Hope everyone is well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Today our presentation topic is business process automation projects and business analytics projects. Thanks to our honorable teacher MD Iftakhar Alam Ifat sir for giving us the opportunity to present our presentation. My teammates are MD Alamin, Anupada Shormi, myself MD Naimur Rahman, Redwan Hossein Palash, Abdullah Mamun and Fardin Hassan Shaun. So now we are going to discuss about two chapters. The first chapter, business process automation projects, includes introduction, modeling business processes, modeling business performance metrics, good practices for business process automation projects. And the second chapter, business analytics projects, includes introduction, overview of business analytics processes, requirements development for business analytics projects, the evolutionary nature of analytics. First of all, what is business automation process? Business process automation is the automation of business process through technology, allowing business to cut costs and increase productivity. Now we are going to understand this business automation process through this scenario. Here is a factory, and here are some employees of this factory, and there is a attendance register in front of this gate. So whenever an employee enter through this gate, this attendance register record his or her entrance time and exit time manually. So in this process there could be some problems, like number one, disputes regarding time in and time out. Number two, overwriting, as this script is written by attendance register, so there are some possibilities of overwriting this script. Number three is delay in payroll processing and salary payment. If some data or values are missing or wrong in this script, so there is a chance of delay in payroll processing and salary payment. Number four is heated argument. So, as this script is written manually, so there is a chance of argument between these employees and attendance register. So now we are going to see the automation process of this factory. This factory decides to set up a machine in front of the gate, and this factory give each employee a smart card. Whenever an employee is entering through this gate, he or she needs to punch this smart card into this machine, and this machine will automatically update their entrance time and exit time. So the solutions are: number one, no disputes regarding time in and time out. There will be no disputes. And number two, no overwriting, as machine is automatically updating their entrance time and exit time, so there are no chance of overwriting. Number three, no delay in payroll processing and salary payment. This machine is updating regularly and automatically, so there are no chance of delays in payroll processing and salary payment. Number four is no heated argument, as these records are recorded and updated by this machine automatically, so there are no chance of argument with this machine, because man cannot argue with machine. When software isn't the solution, in most of the cases software is the solution for business automation process, but in some cases software isn't the solution, because error susceptibility. Automation typically relies on human programming, which means it's not perfect. If the automation algorithm was designed poorly, or if it isn't applied correctly, it could result in large-scale errors or flaws in the system. Without human supervision, these errors can be notoriously difficult to catch. The next reason is labor misallocation. Pushing too hard to automate certain manual processes, it might eliminate or misallocate labor prematurely. Human workers are important assets. They should be used alongside automation to bring the best results. And the last is high costs. Some types of automation are expensive to implement. They require equipment that costs hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, or must be programmed from scratch. If you overpay for a solution that doesn't bring you adequate results, it can hurt your bottom line. So we need to consider our costing before implementing any business automation process, because high costs really affect the business procedure. So now we will see some modeling business processes and their short key term. So first one is business process analysis, BPA. BPA involves understanding the processes as a basis for improving them. So this process is really understand the process for improving them. If we want to improve any process, and we need to understand the process first. So this involves understanding the process, and we will use this process as business process analysis. And the next process is business process reengineering, BPR. BPR consists of analyzing and redesigning business processes for greater efficiency and effectiveness. So suppose we have a process, and if we want to redesign this process to make it more efficient and effective, so we need to use this business process reengineering. Business process improvement, BPI. BPI involves measuring and looking for opportunities for incremental process improvement. And business process management, BPM. BPM encompasses understanding all of the enterprise's business processes, analyzing them to make them more efficient and effective. The last one is business process model and notation, BPMN. BPMN is a graphical notation for modeling business processes. If we want to visualize a graphical scenario, then we will use BPMN. It includes swim lane and use case diagrams also. So the next part will be discussed by my teammate MD Alamin. Thank you.
I'm Mohammed Alamin. Now I'll be discussing how we can use current process to derive requirements. First, we need to understand the business objective so that we can link each objective with one or more process. Then we can use organization chart to find all the affected organization and potential user classes. Then identify all of the relevant business process involving participation of those user classes. Then document the as-is business process using flowchart, activity diagram or swimlane diagram. Analyze the as-is process to determine the biggest opportunities for improvement. For the process that is scope for automation, walk through each as-is process flow with the appropriate stakeholder to elicit software requirement to help in each step in the flow. Document to be process flows to help the business prepare for the new system and to identify any flaws that the system might have. We can also create use cases to understand detail how the user will interact with the system. We discussing designing future process first. It says that the development of a new system need to happen consistently. There is a chicken and egg problem with information system and business process. In many cases, it is better to devise the new business process first and then assess the needed changes in your information system architecture. Properly supporting a new business process might involve changing multiple systems. First, we need to think which user will use the system and how they will use it to do their job. It will help us to define the correct user requirement, and this will also maximize user adoption of the new system. So the concurrent development of new processes and new application helps ensure that the two merge nicely. Modeling business performance metrics. It is important to understand which business performance metrics are most important to address with business process automation so that the development work can be prioritized. The business performance metrics development will help complete the vision and scope. Key performance indicator metrics associate business process with their important performance metrics. Key performance indicator metrics are drawn as flowcharts, swimlane diagrams, or activity diagrams with key performance indicator overlaid on their related step. Now we will see an example of modeling business performance metrics. Think of a problem that one customer of ours had a spreadsheet that used approximately 300 inputs from different sources to calculate a risk profile for loans. The business stakeholder wanted software that would gather the data inputs and run the risk profile calculation because it took a long time for the risk manager to execute this frequently repeated process. So this problem performance metrics are identify all data user, determine time to each collect each input, collect the data, enter data into a spreadsheet, calculate risk profile for a loan. Then if there is no error, send risk profile. If there, then collect correct data. So after this performance matrix, we can gather our first key performance matrix. Our first key performance matrix is to reduce time to aggregate data input from each loan for 120 minutes to 2 minutes. And our second key performance indicator is 100% correct calculation of risk profile. Now we'll discuss good practice for business automation project. Identify user classes that have processes that might need to be automated. Create or extend data model for information that is being handled manually. Create a rules and permissions matrix to capture security requirements that previously are enforced manually. Identify business rules that must be automated when processes are automated. Create flowcharts, swimlane diagrams, activity diagrams, or use cases to show how users currently perform tasks and how they will perform them after automation. Use data flow diagrams to identify processes that could be automated and create new data flow diagrams to show how newly automated processes interact with existing parts of the system. Adapt business process to permit user of commercial off-the-shelf solution. Create trace matrix to map process step to requirements. Thank you. This is the end of chapter 24. The next chapter will be discussed by rest of my team members.
Now I am discussing chapter 25, which is business analytic projects. What is business analytic projects? The main purpose of business analytic projects is to develop systems that turn large and often highly complex data sets into meaningful information from which decisions can be made. It is also called business intelligence or reporting. The decisions that people make using business analytic systems can be strategic, operational, or tactical. For this, if we see a real-life example, an analyst might look at his sales team's global performance dashboard to decide who to promote. This is called tactical. Which product need different marketing strategies? This is called operational. Or which products to target by markets? This is called strategic. Now, the components of a simple business analytics framework. There are three components like data, analysis, and information uses. Business analytics collect data from source, storage, management, governance, extraction. Analyze this data using transformation and computations, and then turn them into information uses. Using this information, they predict outcomes, find the best solutions to make decisions, and at the end, they discover a business need. This is the main goal, the business need. A spectrum of types of analytics. There are two types of analytics. One is descriptive analytics, and the another one is predictive analytics. What is predictive analytics? Predictive analytics is what will happen, like optimizations to be made based on predictions, forecast models to identify future outcomes, what if scenarios to compare future predictions. These all are predictive analytics. And what is descriptive analytics? What's happened or what's happening, like standard reports about past data, ad hoc reports to answer questions in real time, alert triggered when specified criteria are met. If we compare descriptive analytics and predictive analytics, we can say that predictive analytics is better than descriptive analytics. Now, requirements development for business analytic projects. Business analytic projects first need to have business objectives defined to establish and optimize the scope of work. To help stakeholders state of their business objectives, we might ask them the following questions like why do they think that analytic solutions will help them achieve the desired business outcomes? Then what do they want to accomplish by implementing analytics reporting? How do they expect to use analytics to improve their business outcomes? How they hope to improve reporting capabilities or prediction results? An effective subsequent elicitation strategy is to drive requirement specification based on the decisions that stakeholders need to make achieve their business objectives. Try the following processes so we can help them. Like describe the business decisions that will be made using outputs of the systems. Link those decisions to the project's business objectives. Decompose the decisions to discover the questions that need to be answered. Lastly, determine how analytics could be applied to assist in making these decisions. Now, I am discussing the four processes to define requirements for business analytic projects. Firstly, prioritizing work by using decisions, then defining how information will be used, then specifying data needs, lastly, defining analysis that transform the data. Now I am briefly discussing prioritizing work by using decision. Features can be prioritized by considering how they satisfy the business objectives. The same consideration is valid on analytics projects. Secondly, uh, use the business objectives to prioritize the business decisions that the solution will enable based on how much they contribute to achieving the objectives. Then decisions should be unambiguous as per as requirements. Then lastly, the decisions management techniques are available to help stakeholders identify the decisions they could or should make. Have a good day. Now
The results of complex analytics must be delivered in a usable form to the stakeholders or systems as an information. In one organization, the sales executive wants to see the information in a dashboard in every morning in a multiple view of the data. The report containing sales by product lines, quarterly sales by product line, and sales by total sales by competitors and sales by price band. The business analytics must also determine how smart the system is. That is, how much of the decision making is by a human user and how much is automated in the system. This distinction uh, will drive the elicitation technique types of elicitation question by the business analyst to the stakeholder. The sort of flexibility is a common capability needed by business analytics system. A user wants to see the precise view of sales by product line, so he changed the filter and see the sales by product line in region, and after drill down he can also see the sales by product line and sales by price band of the sales. The business analyst takes the requirement from the stakeholders, and he also includes something. The business analyst will need to consider the following three aspects of information delivery. Delivery mechanism: how is information physically made available to the end user? What tools can the user employ to view it? Email applications, web portal, mobile devices, and others. Format: in what format is the information delivered? Reports, dashboard, raw data, others. Flexibility: to what extent must the user be able to manipulate the information following? And for dashboard, there should have dashboard requirement display action response, which is related to manipulate the information uses in systems. It is important to note that the information from analytics projects might be used directly within software systems instead of being delivered to human users. The analytics might be embedded in the application as part of its daily operations. Now, for example, in uses in system. In most of the company they use the user purchasing, customer purchasing history, use to give the discount to that customer, hoping that the user buy product from them uh, after that. Uh, Coupons, glossary, shopping also adds some advertisement to the user of the online user of the product. The information delivery mechanism and format might be specified to external interface requirements. Those are external interface requirements. However, it still important to understand how the information will be used so that the correct data is transformed as needed and delivered to the interfacing system in a usable form. So the business analyst should use all the sectors for requirement gain. Specifying data needs. Data forms the core of all business analytics solution. In many companies, they have data experts to data storage, data management, and data extraction mechanism. Business analytics wants to they thinks about business profitability gaining can define requirements for data sources. Data is stored, but from where the data is came from, these data sources, storage management and extraction mechanism. Business analytics can help explore what types of data need to be collected and analyzed, the total quantity of data the organization will be dealing with, total amount of data, and how much data they will accumulate over time.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Abdullah Mamun. Let me start with big data. Big data is a collection of data that is huge in volume yet growing exponentially with time. It is a data with so large size and complexity that none of traditional data management tools can store it or process it efficiently. To really conceptualize big data, we can think about our personal database interaction from a single day: social media, email messages, videos, digital images, and electronic transactions. We can consider that a Boeing 737 can generate 240 terabytes of flight data during a single flight across the United Kingdom. Facebook ingests 500 terabytes of new data every day. This is another example. Let's talk about characteristics of big data. These are the 5 V's of big data. These are volume, veracity, variety, value, and velocity. Let's talk about first volume. The big data itself is related to an enormous size. Big data is a vast volume of data that generates from sources such as social networking site, telecom companies, share market, e-commerce site. Next on is veracity. Veracity means how much data is reliable. It has many ways to filter or translate data. Veracity is the process of being able to handle and manage data efficiently. Example of veracity is Facebook post with hashtags. Next one is variety. Big data can be structured data, semi-structured data, or can be unstructured data. Value. It is essential characteristics of big data. It is not the data we process and store. It is a valuable and reliable data that we can store, process, and can analyze. Final one is velocity. Big data velocity deals with the speed of the data flows from sources like application logs, networks, social media sites, sensor, and mobile networks. Next topic is database requirements. Many of the data requirements that need to be specified for analytics projects are similar to those for other information system projects. Although the nature of those requirements might not be the same, the question we ask to elicit them are often similar. Business analytics can ask to elicit data related requirements. A business analytics can ask for data sources. We can ask what about objects and attributes do you need? From what sources will you get the data? Do you already have each of these data sources available? If not, where is the data? Do you need to develop requirements to populate those sources with the necessary data? What are external or internal system are providing data? How likely are the sources to change over time? Is there a need for initial migration of historical data from an old to a new repository? For data storage, a business analyst can ask how much data is there today? How much is the data volume expected to grow and over what period of time? What types of data do you need to store? How long do you need to store the data? How surely must it be stored? For data management and governance, a business analyst can ask what are the structural characteristics of the data? How do you expect the data structure or values to change over time? What data transformation need to occur before the raw data is stored or analyzed? What transformations are needed to standardize the data from disparate systems? Under what condition can old data be deleted? Does old data need to be archived or destroyed? What integrity requirements apply to protecting the data from unauthorized access, loss, or corruption? For data extraction, business analytics can ask how fast do users expect queries to return results? Do you need real-time or batch data? If not real time, then what frequency do you need to be at batch? Next topic is defining analysis that transform data. Analysis is the computational engine. It transforms the data and leads to the answer to the question posed. A user defines a problem, receives data that he hopes will continue an answer, analyzes the data to find the answer, and decides on a solution to the problem. Or maybe the system analyzes the data to find the answer and then takes an action accordingly. A business analytics with good creative thinking skills can work with stakeholders to determine what new ideas might be explored with the analysis results. To decide the data analysis requirements, we might ask questions such as the following. What time frame are you trying to analyze, past, present, or future? If past, what kinds of insights about the past are you looking for? If present, what do you need to understand about the current situation so that you can take immediate action? If future, what kinds of prediction or decision do you want to make? This question will help us to define functional requirements that specify the analysis of the system must perform. That's all, and thank you.